Okay, this is Kenny B from the official call with his co-host, Robert Bird, aka the Birdman. And we got a special guest with us today, Dejasia, I'm sorry for messing up your name, Shadasia Green.
Yes.
Welcome to our show, and we are glad that you're here to be with us.
And
Thank
I
you for
ditto
having me.
Uh,
Thank you for having me. Shouts out to Robert Bird and Kenny Bayless, two of the best referees of all time. Has
Thank you.
ref and been in charge of some of the biggest fights in the universe. I've dreamed of you guys refereeing my fight, but hey, I'm talking to you today, so I'm happy with that. Maybe. I mean, you guys always called it fair and square. You guys was always tough. Hey, I'm not with the nonsense. So I'm just honored to be talking to you guys, two Hall of Famers of my sport. Very familiar with the sport, seeing some of the greats, and one day, one day soon I'll be considered a great. So thank you for having me.
You're
I'm
welcome.
glad I'm
You're
glad you
welcome.
brought that up because a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Um, when you are in a fight,
hmm
what is it about the referee that is most important to you?
Um, to be honest, I never really thought much into the referee. I always respected him and listened to his rules. Um, and I seen that he was, uh, um, he was a foregoing person that stand between me and my opponent. However, the last match I had, he played a big part. He took a point from me.
Uh,
Um, 15 fights, fighting one of the best female fighters on the planet, another power puncher. I don't know what transpired in my mind, but when he took that point from me, I didn't show it. Instead, I kind of like I turned it up. And I wasn't upset with him about it either. He was really strict. He was giving me a hard time, but I never blamed him, because you guys are there to be seen, to do a job, to keep it safe, to keep it calm. And if you don't comply, then things happen. So I never really paid too much attention to the ref, but I always acknowledged them and respect them. One of the female refs I actually fought with, um, I was joking with her a little bit, like, I respect you, I understand, but I was having fun in there. So, I never really showed too much physical consideration to the ref, because I know that's frowned upon too when there's two combatives in there, and they're going two opponents in there, and they're going toe to toe. You don't want the fans or the audience and everybody to see that the ref is siding with one fighter. So I've always been respectful.
Yeah.
Great, great. I like that answer.
Yeah.
hmm
So I want to kind of start from the beginning
hmm
with first of all, um, you decided to get into boxing, but first you played a little basketball at Old Dominican.
Yes, I
So
did.
what was that your first choice of sports when you were growing up, or what turned you in the direction to basketball?
Well, I found the love of basketball when I was so young, so young. We were living in a tough area, and my mother, Rochelle Green, who was extremely strict, and I was the oldest of four children. I went out and found a hobby. I found a hobby, and I fell in love with it. I started playing against the men at some of the toughest areas in Patterson, New Jersey. And I started being successful, but it was my hobby. And
Mhm.
I remember being about eight. or 9, and I was that good at that young of an age. I came in the house and I said, I had a basketball. My mother, she pays attention every time I come in the house, and she's like, put that basketball down. Like, go sit down, go play with a doll or something. I'm like, Mom, no, I really love basketball. I like this. I want to do this. I don't know how long it took for me to really get good, but I got good. I was playing with grown men at the master grounds. You go to a playground and they're like, I got next. And the guys would be calling, I got next. And when they're picking their teams, they say, I have Shadasia.
Yeah.
And I'm playing with a bunch of men. And so I realized, like, wow, this is really my calling. And when I said that to my mother, I had a friend. We moved again, and we moved next door to a friend, and somebody who I hadn't known, but she was also a point guard for a city league team. So I went over, and we would play ball together, and I would say to her mother, like, and her mother was like, you know what, I got an idea. I'm gonna take you to try out for Grace Chapel. It's a church, but it's a dominant city league team as well. So she was like, yeah, I'll take you or whatever. So she take me, and the coach is in awe with me, and like I'm dropping 30. We're running fulls.
Right.
So she says, Shadasia, the coach wants you. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Okay, I want to play. What's the gym fees or whatever? Trying to figure out how I'm gonna come, come into it on my own. And she's like, well, I gotta talk to your mom. And I'm like, because I'm going based off the last experience when she was like, put the ball down. So she goes and she talks to my mom, right? And then my mom, me and my mother always had a close relationship. I tell her everything. She knew, like, if I came in the house and something was wrong, she would know. She paid like really close attention to me in my childhood and what I was doing. So she would come in, and she came in one day and she was like, so I hear you made the team. And I'm like, oh, Mom, I'm so sorry. She was like, why did you tell this lady that you couldn't tell me? So now the next practice, mind you, my mother is full-time, raising kids. She goes to the next practice. I'm playing fulls again. Fulls is like 5-on-5, like a game. Right. And I'm balling. I don't know if y'all know what that means. You guys are a little bit old.
we know.
I'm
You
balling. So she goes to the head coach and she's like, what do I need to make this permanent, to sign my daughter up? And the coach is like, we don't need nothing from you. Your daughter made the team. She's that good. So then my mother come to me and she's like, Shadasia, why you felt like you couldn't tell me, because we always had that close bond. And she's like, you can tell me anything. And so, but I was about 3 or 4 years old, and my mother kept talking to me, and I remember this vague, like I really remember this. She kept talking to me about college and furthering my education. And she kept talking about, her plans for me. So when I made that team and, consider collaborating the conversations that we had when I was 3 or 4 years old. How can I remember that? I'm 3 or 4 years old. My mother was living vicariously through me. She wanted me to do all the things that she couldn't do. Right. And sometimes that could be overbearing for a child, but it wasn't for me because I was her first child. I was like, we were best friends. So when I made the team and then I carried it over to high school, even picking a high school, I wanted to go where my friends was going. Right.
Yeah.
But you had an All-American legend, Essence Carson, at Eastside. And my mother literally like broadcasted this plan and came up with this plan. Like, no, you gonna go play for Eastside. I'm like, Mom, what? I don't want to play for Eastside. No, I hate that. I don't want to do that. I want to go to Patterson Catholic. I signed myself in. They gave me a scholarship. They gave me money for high school. But again, that plan when I was 3 or 4 years old, Shadasia, you going to college. You're gonna get a scholarship. You going to college. And so she actually told Patterson Catholic, like, I'm sorry, my daughter has wasted your time. She's going to Eastside. So she was working her plan since I was 4 years old. And what she did was she found a source. Now, I found a source that I was having fun with. She found a source for me to receive a scholarship that she didn't have to pay for, to make sure that what she wanted me to do, she completed. So I went on and nominate All-American, make McDonald's All-American, and I'm just she said it like, look, the scouts, they're coming to see Essence, everybody winner. They're gonna be looking for who's next. You're gonna be next. I took a fall though. I went to East Side. I took a fall. They made me play freshman because I chose Patterson Catholic. But then again, they put me on the varsity team when they needed me, and I shined. And in the midst of shining, I want to say my sophomore or junior year, my coach came to me and was like, Shadasia, we need you to run track. We need you to do something in the off season to make your footwork better. We need you to get in shape better, because I was literally dropping 40 on offense or 30 or 40 on offense, but I was letting them score 35 or 45 on defense. So I was taking my breaks on defense.
Right.
So I live in Paterson, New Jersey. It's a small neighborhood, and I ended up, walking home, and I found a gym, Ike's and Randy's boxing gym on Park Ave. Dogs in the front, cats with missing eyes. I go in there. It's not a line. It's not a lot of people signed up to do it. I see this coach. He's got his cop shades on. He's sitting on a desk with his feet up. He looks sleep. I paid my gym dues, $30 a month. That's fine. This will do the trick. I'm hitting the bag, but it seems real unfamiliar. And I remember asking this man, Barry Porter, who's my trainer today? I said, sir, can you help me? He said, yeah, I'll help you. And it went from using it to help me with my cardio and my footwork, to me loving it, to me fearing it, to me seeing that it wasn't a lot of people sign up to do it, and I went back there every single day, and that's how it
Shadasia,
started.
you just walked into the gym,
Yes,
decided that this is what you wanted to do.
yes,
After successfully playing basketball,
yeah,
something just jumped up and bit you and said, go into that gym and start hitting that bag and let's try something new.
yeah.
Basic.
It was the
Okay.
fear that motivated me. There wasn't a lot of people signing up to do boxing there. I remember the first time I sparred, I got punched in the jaw. I didn't know how to feel, and I was scared. And the guy said to me, if you don't hit me, I'm going to hit you. And that fear, I didn't have that in basketball. Basketball was easy to come to. Like, I was dominating that sport.
Right.
But boxing, like,
Right.
I had to learn it. I had to focus. And I'm like, you know what? I need to do this. I need to get this. And that
Well,
was at 15 years old.
this is my next question. So when you go into the gym, were the trainers, like you said, that were sitting there, did they come at you, or did they just look at you and say, there's another girl trying to box? I mean, what was the
No,
attitude like?
they paid me no mind. I paid my gym dues for the month. And that was it. It was just another fighter or wannabe fighter who's paying their gym dues, until I asked Barry Porter. Now,
Okay.
all this time, guys, I'm thinking he's asleep at the desk. He's got on the cop shades.
Right.
He's laid back. His feet is on the table. And I go to him and I say, hey, sir, can you help me with something? And he goes, simply, I'll help you. And he's been helping me for 20 years now.
That's great. That's
He's
great.
been helping me for
That's
20
great.
years now. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the head trainer in my corner is the same man that I went to and asked
That's
if he can
perfect.
help me.
That's perfect. So he
Kendall
was
Holt's
in.
Kendall Holt's father. Legendary Kendall Holt. His father.
Yeah, I
That's
know
my
Kendall.
trainer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then obviously he was there when you fought your first amateur fight.
Absolutely. Train me for it all.
And from my understanding, you had a total of 5 or 6 amateur fights. Is that correct, or more?
I had 5 fights before I went to the 2016 AIBA World Championships and
Right.
medal silver. Yep.
So you became the former amateur boxer of the year in New Jersey
Yes.
with 5 fights.
Just 5. He said
Wow.
I was a natural. And I'll give you
Right.
some background information. My grandfather, Robert Patterson, was in camps in the likes of Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, to be specific. Uh, he hit like a mule. My mother's father.
Mhm.
So I think it skipped over my mom, but it might have been hereditary. But my mother got it. Don't get me wrong, my mother got it, but she's a pretty girl. She likes her hair done and all that. So um
Right.
um I did that 5 fights and I came home. I remember the day that I signed my scholarship. Now, this is not likely. I have the head coaches in my living room with the letter of intent. Now, my mother know that I'm training at the gym, but I never gave her the phone number because I just didn't want her to stop me. We had a plan, right? We had a plan. Wendy Larry from Old Dominion University is in my living room, and I'm training, probably sparring and whatnot. Barry Porter knows nothing about this. She calls me, she calls me, she calls me, she calls me. I don't answer. I'm training, right? Reason, like that's the rightful reason. She calls the gym guys and she say, "Hello, Barry. Yes. How you doing, man? Shadasia's there? Yes, she's here. She's here. She's just gonna get a couple more rounds in. No, no more rounds. Send her home. She has a scholarship waiting on the table." He turns to look at me and say, "What? A scholarship?" I stop and I'm like, he's like, "No problem." He's like, "Shadasia, I don't have a scholarship for you. I don't have education for you. We can finish this when you come back. Go home, go to college, get your degree, come back, we'll pick up where we left off." And that's
I
how that
can
happened.
understand why. I can understand why you're still with that person
Yeah,
because he showed an interest in you, the person.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. I
yeah.
still can't figure out though how my mother got the number. I'm still trying to
Well,
figure it out.
That's moms. That's
moms
Yeah,
moms
know.
right there.
That's
yeah,
all I can
yeah.
say.
Now, Shadasia, share with us. You fought a fighter by the name of Alene Sedaros for the
Sedaros, yes.
WBC.
Mhm.
Share with us about that particular fight.
Well, that was the second fight that I had signed with MVP, right? And
Hmm.
I'm gonna be
Mhm.
honest, I felt like, all right, I fought Oglita Suarez before that. She was an okay fighter, but Alene was a former world champion. So
Right.
I was a little like I had never fought a former world champion. I was a little nervous, a little bit,
Yeah,
but then I trusted my training and I trusted my coaches, and it was at home, which is another worry because everybody want to see you at home. So I'm like, all right, I'll take on the challenge. And she was a tower over me in a sense. Very strong, a lot of pressure, and I just fought my fight, and she had came off a really rough outing against Franchon Cruz, who had ended up taking all of the belts from her to be undisputed super middleweight world champion. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be super middleweight world champion. It's a goal of mine, not
Mhm.
world champion, not unified. I want to be undisputed. So the we MVP, they set up the fight through Matchroom, and I still remember it like it was yesterday, February 4th, I think it was 2022. That was really my big challenge, my big test. And in front of a bunch of family and close friends, I went in there and we both put on a performance. She came at me heavy, and it allowed, what I realized is when fighters apply pressure, it's easier for me to open up. I don't gotta find
Mhm.
you, I don't gotta look for you. You're coming towards me,
Mhm.
and I think my power spoke volumes that night. I had a drastic knockdown in the third round, and then I had a
Mhm.
drastic KO in the sixth round. And I want to say that was one of my best performances that night.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely, it was. Matter of fact, I just clicked on it this morning when I was
Yeah.
looking for this. And that was a very devastating knockdown in the third round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of those no question
Yeah,
knockdowns,
yeah. It's something you don't
and
see in women's boxing, and I think
uh,
I had the world raving about that, So I would love to have a couple of more of those though, to be honest, And I feel like it's coming, but she's a great fighter.
yeah,
She only made me better, she brought it to me,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that fight did was there was this notion that you had been the best kept secret in women's
Hmm.
boxing. Well, let me tell you something. After that fight, your secret was out.
Yeah.
That was
Absolutely.
out. You were
Absolutely.
no longer a secret.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree 100% with you, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there was another fight. Apparently, it was a vacant WBO super middleweight fight,
Mm-hmm.
and you fought this gal by the name of Melinda Wetpool.
Watpool, yes.
Watpool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How did that fight go for you?
She was actually very good, right? But I think the Alene Sedaros fight kind of cursed me a bit because I dropped her in the third round, right?
Mhm.
I stopped her in the sixth. So now I'm titled as this KO puncher and devastating female power. And now we go to Melinda Watpool, who's from Canada, who's tough, who's in shape. And I go in there, I heard her in the first or the second round, but I didn't hurt her enough for me to feel like, okay, I can stop her, right? So now I start like, I wanted to come away from Shadasia Green, this powerful KO puncher, right? And so I want to use my other skills because I know I can box. I know I can stand toe to toe. I know I got a good inside game, and I know I have KO power. But what I'm known for is my KO power. And this girl, like, she was able to withstand a good amount of power. So I started utilizing the fact that I felt like her feet was extremely slow. So I started
Mhm.
boxing her. You'll hear Roy Jones commentating and saying, "You're not gonna outbox Shadasia Green." The fact that Roy Jones knows Shadasia Green is crazy, amazing. The fact that he knows other opponents are not gonna outbox me, that means he looked at my fight, mind blowing. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I ended up like boxing her, you know what I'm saying, using my footwork and moving around her. And a lot of people thought that it was closer than what it really was, or it could have went either way. But I felt like I definitely showed my skill set in another aspect of what I can do to provide for women's boxing um in another way. So that fight was really, really critical for me. I left, I knew I won. I felt like I won, but I let the criticism sort of outspeak what I had did that night. So I learned
Right.
from that too. Everything is a learning, like, it's a learning curve.
Yes, it
So
is.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm glad that happened.
And for fight fans that don't know, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you got a total of 17 fights, 16 wins, 11 by KO,
Mm-hmm.
and one loss, correct?
Yes,
mhm,
yes,
Okay. Okay.
yes.
mhm.
One loss to
Okay.
Franchon Cruz, and I
Yes.
have the WBO, the IBF, and the Ring Magazine world title. So yeah, I'm proud. I'm proud of my record. I'm
You
proud of
should
my
be
career.
proud.
Yeah,
Yes.
and but I want more. I want more. So I'm not done. Um yeah, but that's what I got.
Well, the one thing that I take from what you just said, and it's something that I've always shared with people,
Hmm.
and I think there have been some very notable examples of that recently.
Mhm.
I've always been a person that said fights are won from the waist down, not
Okay.
the waist. Yeah, you got to punch the people up, waist up, but the fight is really won waist down. And I
Hmm.
think the fight that Canelo and Crawford had proved that. I
Mhm.
Yes.
certainly think that the fight that Shadur and Theo just had
Yeah.
certainly proved that point.
Hmm.
But and when it brings me around to the point I'm making with you is evidently you came to the same conclusion because it
Hmm.
was your footwork and utilizing something other than power.
Right.
Because at some point you're going to meet somebody where that power is not going to work, and you're going to have to do something else. And evidently,
Absolutely.
that fight taught you that.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I'm all around fighter. And Barry Porter in Terrific Gifts has always made me work each and every part, intricate part of my boxing ability to do that. Like there's not a color that I haven't seen. Right. So like think about we know any power punchers that can box and move. Like there's limited, I can stand on the inside, I can fight from the mid range. My last four fights, people are very critical because they compare and they want to see me versus Claressa Shields. So a lot of fans tap in and they're critical about what I can and cannot do. But my last 4 or 5 fights have been 4 or 5 totally different styles. I just fought Savannah Marshall, another puncher. I stood toe to toe with her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
I can do it all.
Shadasia, you mentioned Claressa Shields, and
Hmm.
that's where I was going to go next.
Yes.
First, I want you to share, did you guys, did you know her when you were in the amateurs? I mean, how close of a relationship did you have in your early career when you were in the amateurs?
We had a very close relationship. When I went to that 2016 AIBA World Championships in Kazakhstan, we were on the same team. She was
Mhm.
165. I was 178 plus. Franchon Cruz Dezern was 178. Um, I have been called up to camp to help Claressa Shields get ready for the Olympics and pro fights and whatnot all the time. Our sparring was dynamite. Like I would get off the plane and the new coaches like Billy from Ireland would, he had never seen me before. Coach K Karoma, they go watch this, and they say, Shadeja, we know you just got off the flight. Like, can you spar? And we would create fireworks. We were
Right.
great friends, sisters at one point on the USA team. And once we went to the pros, we had our differences. Preferably or honestly speaking, it was more so on my part because of something that I did. And then we became, distant and not not on my behalf, but enemies. Once we turned pro, and I decided to go to camp and help Christina Hammer, so to say, or spar Christina Hammer to
Mhm.
prepare for a fight with Claressa Shields. Clarissa looked at that like, how could you? Why would you? She
Ah,
had been, yeah. To be honest, she had been calling me out for camp, but the thing about the difference between Christina Hammer and Claressa Shields, I don't have a Claressa Shield style. I was going out to Christina Hammer for financial gain and for experience to
Yeah.
see if I was
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
ready to turn pro. Me and Claressa
Right.
Shields were having toe to toe sparring, and I was learning from her. She was learning from me. How could I ask my sister, my USA sister, hey, can you pay me? I'm coming out
Yeah.
here. You're helping me, and I'm helping you. But can you
Right.
pay me? I got a family to take care of back home. To a
Right.
foreigner, which was Christina Hammer. Hey, I'm gonna need $700, $800, room and board, flight, no problem.
mhm.
So, I think I took the wrong course in that certain situation, and yeah, it made us enemies, but it makes for a great fight. Unfortunately, that's the only positive thing about it, because I think that we should all learn how to stand together and lift each other up and not stab each other in the back. And I don't want to say that I stabbed her in the back, but it makes for a great fight. Everybody wants to see it. And we've talked since then, honestly. We talked at the ring gala and we were cordial and we were okay, but it makes for a great fight. It makes for a great fight. Maybe she'll want to come out and punch me a little bit harder. The fact that I did that, and I'm gonna respond because I'm a fighter. So
So, as a professional, and you're a professional now,
yes,
so the fact that I mean, you have to earn a living.
yes,
So, going to a camp that they're going to pay you to spar,
hmm
that comes with the territory.
it
Mhm.
does, it
The
does, but
question,
it comes with the men's territory. Females are a bit emotional about that. They look at that like that's a no-no. Men
Mm.
will all day. I'm sure they share sparring partners. Like, I think in one instance, Khalil Cole was fighting Jesse Hart, and Khalil Cole goes to Philly to get sparring. And when he attempted to go back to Philly to get sparring, they put a hit out on Philly and said Khalil can't get any sparring out of Philly because he's fighting Jesse Hart. So it's a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's really a thing.
Right. So the big thing is, um, are you ready to fight Claressa? And if you are, when will the fight take place? There's word out that it could happen in April. Tell us about it. Birdman, what if you could consistently stay in top shape?
I like that.
And we know that inflammation and injury is 90% about stress. What if you could see stress building in your cells before it promotes an injury? What if you could optimize recovery at the cellular level and identify the exact frequencies your body needs to perform at its absolute peak?
Huh? Well, I understand there's this doctor, Dr. Luba Deniger. And she's a former NASA researcher and pioneer in frequency medicine. And she reveals how AI-powered bioresonance technology can revolutionize athletic performance and recovery. From keeping performance at your all-time high to preventing career-ending injuries and seriously cutting recovery time. Now, the Monicor device can change the game for elite athletes. This is the future of peak performance, and it's available today. And if you mention the official call, you also can get a discount.
Hey!
Well, it can't happen in April because Claressa has Franchon Cruz Dezern, who's a very great fight in February 22nd, which is the only loss
Okay.
on my record, right? She's
Okay.
fighting Franchon Cruz in Detroit. That's a great fight. I'm looking to get active and defend my titles in April. I could see it
Okay.
happening a couple of months after that, building a huge mega event like a Katie Teller versus Amanda Serrano. I feel
Right.
like two African American sisters who are skilled could be a mega fight and be on that platform or be on that stage where we can go toe to toe. It's going to take some time to build the fight, but Claressa Shields, in my opinion, is a great fighter, phenomenal fighter. She has the choice to do whatever it is that she sees fit. And if she sees fit that I'm next, even though, she's went on Sway and she's went on different podcasts and said, hey, if Shadasia Green beats Savannah Marshall, which I did in July
Mhm.
11th, 2025,
Yep.
beat her, that she will fight me next. If she feels fit to want to do something else, then I can't be upset. I want the fight as long as she wants to fight.
Right.
And
Right.
I know Claressa Shields and I know, about her. And I can honestly say I don't think Claressa Shields turned down smoke. I think she wants the best, and regardless of the back and forth and the things we go
Right.
through on Twitter, I think we respect each other and
Mm-hmm.
respect each other's skill set, and I think it makes for a mega fight. I really
Do
do.
you know? Do you know who you want to fight in your next fight, or what opponents you got lined up in your possible next fight?
I'm not sure in my directly next fight after such a complicated fight with Savannah Marshall, but I know
Okay.
moving forward after my next fight of defending titles, I will want a Claressa Shields. I will want a
Mm-hmm.
Franchon Cruz who still has 2 belts at my weight class. And I will want the mega fights. And those two are the mega fights. I can't really look
Okay.
far beyond, but they have something to offer. I feel like I deserve the big names now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and those are the two big names.
Yeah.
Whether, especially Claressa Shields,
Yeah.
So those definitely are the two fights that I feel like will bring some substance to my career. And one of those fights are very important to me accomplishing my dream goals, and that's being undisputed as
Yeah.
a super middleweight world champion.
Yeah.
You know that a lot of that obviously is going to depend on how the fight with Claressa comes out
Yes,
because
I agree.
her next opponent is not a pushover.
No, she's not. No,
It's
she's
not a
not.
given. It's not a given.
No, no, she like I said, she beat me on one of the worst nights that I had, and I think the way Franchon Cruz has been disrespected by the promoters and the fans, it could only light a fire under her engine to say that maybe she can possibly have one of the best performances of her life. So I'm looking forward to watching that fight and being a spectator, whether it's on my couch or whether it's somewhere else. I'm really
And
looking
there,
forward to watching that.
and you know
Yeah.
that one of the drop down lines out of this is that if Claressa beats her
Hmm.
and you beat her,
Hmm.
you know, that almost signs the fight itself
Right.
because you have a common opponent. And
Right.
the only common opponent you guys have so far was Savannah Marshall.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but to take you back, Franchon beat me at one of my
Mm-hmm.
worst moments. Then Savannah Marshall turned around and beat her.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So then I beat the woman to beat the woman. I beat
Ah,
Savannah Marshall. So Claressa beat Savannah Marshall. So reasoning for this Franchon fight with Claressa Shields is that, she's saying that Franchon is better than me because Franchon beat me.
mhm.
Okay. So now we see what happens with these two.
Well,
And then
now
we
you know
decide.
where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
You
we
know
decipher.
exactly where I'm coming from.
Yes, so then we
Yeah.
decipher what's next, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the opposite side of that is styles make fights.
Styles make fight.
That's
A lot
true.
of
That's
people are
very
not
true.
gonna fight me the way they fight Clarissa Shields. They
Yeah,
have
that's
no,
true.
they
That's
don't
very
have
true.
similar concerns.
Hmm. Hmm.
Savannah was all over Clarissa, and Clarissa fought a beautiful fight,
Hmm.
countering on the back foot. Franchon wanted to keep it close with Savannah. Savannah fought a beautiful fight. I heard Savannah in the fifth round and took over from there. So it's interesting. I'm glad that female fighting, female boxing is on this type of pedestal that is being discussed and talked about in the way that men's boxing would be. So either way, I'm just excited for what's next.
Well, and I can tell you that there's a new buzz. There's
Mhm.
really a new buzz about boxing
Yes,
with the things that Jake Paul is doing with women's boxing. Tremendous,
absolutely.
tremendous.
Hmm.
And with the marriage of Dana White and the Sheik,
Hmm.
and emergence now of Lufa,
Hmm.
boxing under the umbrella,
Hmm.
uh, boxing is starting to come back to a healthy place,
Yes.
and that's a wonderful thing because, frankly, boxing was in a decline.
Yeah. I can see
Yeah.
that. I can see that. I could definitely agree with you on that. It was really, really insignificant and tough for the biggest fights to be made. It seems like we had to go through ropes and challenges and fires to see what we wanted to see, like this fighter fight this fighter. Now we're seeing it.
Yes.
Entrance, as far as example, Tiafimo versus Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
back in a year ago, we probably 3 years ago, we probably would have never seen that, but we saw it and we saw what happened. So I'm excited to be a part of what's going on now in the near future,
Hmm.
opposed to back then.
Well, I can say this. I remember the first time I did a woman fight, and it was Christy Martin.
Mm,
And over the years, I have seen a progression of women in their ability to not uh, uh, just getting out there and just fighting, but
right.
learning the technique and the skills
Yes,
to get in the ring and show that you can fight.
Hmm.
And
absolutely.
so yeah, Christy Martin was the one that that kind of, kicked the ball off on that. But
Mm-hmm.
it has been followed up greatly by fighters like yourself, Claressa. I mean, there are good women fighters out there now,
Yeah.
and the Serranos and the Taylors, and
Yes.
people want to see them fight
Yeah.
because they know
Absolutely.
how to fight.
Right.
So
Right.
I commend you. I commend the women fighters that have reached the plateau of their career that people want to see them fight.
Right.
They're ready to pay for pay-per-view. They're ready to go to the arenas and be a part of something exciting that is happening. And you ladies have definitely shown what your abilities are, what you're capable of doing, and it's all good for the sport.
Yeah.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much. And I want to really formally and go a little bit into depth about how much I appreciate you guys taking this time with me today, and how I'm, not only a female fighter, but a fan of you guys. I've watched the Floyd Mayweather fights with you guys and the way you ref, because the referee plays a part and you guys see the action up and close and personal. So it really means a
Thank you.
lot. It really means a lot. I just like my mother sent me to college and made me get my Bachelor of Science degree, forced me to bring it home before I can box. I did the same thing in boxing. I did my homework. So I watch a lot of fights. And what I can say is I'm really grateful to have, your comments and your uplifting to me as a female fighter, a unified lineal world champion, super middleweight world champion, taking a time out with me today. And I just appreciate it. And what I can say is that women's boxing is in good hands. It's at a really, really good place. And I expect for some big things coming up and up and coming for female fighters. I really do.
We want to thank you for joining us today because as you, we value you as much as you value us.
Amen.
So it's
Absolutely.
reciprocal. It's reciprocal.
Yes. Yes.
Before you go, we'd like for you to give a shout out, tell the folks about the official call.
Yes. Deja Green here, super middleweight world champion. I just want to shout out the official call with the Hall of Famer referees who's been around in the business and been doing amazing things for years to come, know what they're talking about, know the science of boxing. Appreciate you guys. Please keep going. We need more like you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
No
for
problem.
taking the
Thank you so
time.
much.
And
Appreciate you guys.
we always end our show with what I say you must obey.
Yes.
Let's do this. All the best to you.
The
All the
best.
best to you guys. I
All
appreciate
right.
you. I love
You
it.
bet.
Those my quotes of the day. I love it. All right. I'm out of here, guys.
All right.